So, before this video gets started, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the slow uploads, but I'm trying to get as many projects done over the holidays as I can, so that means video editing, all of the footage, has kind of get pushed to the back burner. With college and all that, I don't have time to work on these projects most of the time, so this is the best time to just work on as many of them as I can, get them all done, record them, edit them later. I have hours upon hours of footage that just need edited, but I haven't edited it yet.
Okay, so I need to get some shit done because I just picked up 2 new racing cabinets. Got the seats over here. We got a Namco Dirt Dash. That's what this is, Dirt Dash. So that's this. Bought this. Person said the monitor's bad. The monitor's not bad. The monitor turns on just fine. The game does not. Concerning, but the power supply fan's not turning on. So I pulled the power supply out. We're going to do some more testing on that. I have a feeling this might be the issue because clearly somebody else was already thinking this because this was unmounted. Screws were already taken out. It was just setting loose in there. However, it still was plugged in and the power switch was on. But as you can see, the cabinet's not in the greatest of condition. It's all ripped up along the edge here. Not terribly uncommon for mistreated cabinets. T-trim's all coming out right here, probably because this is expanded. This whole front broke off. Steering wheel's loose. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, I don't think. I do have the plastics and stuff for here. They just were loose, so I took them off for the ride. Same with these. These wheels are... I have the wheels. I have both of them, and they inner wood. Do not have the back door for this one, which kind of sucks. I have the top half, and there's some of the wood that broke off. And there's the rest of it still attached to the seat. But, as you can see, power supply was down there. The power supply was down here. I unplugged that and pulled that out. You got your 2 pedals, you got your giant computer system, all that fancy stuff, giant CIT. But, yeah, it's here. Stuff if anyone's interested. We have the chair. It's got its brake light. We have the plastics. Wheels are on the seat under the blanket. Yeah, that's basically it for this cabinet right now. Okay, so on the Dirt Dash, got the power supply here. Doesn't work. Took it all apart. Haven't done anything besides that. But I realized I have a very similar power supply. The only issue is this one has 2 sets of the power cables and the other one only has 1. That's not a big deal. I can swap over cables. But here's the main issue. It looks like it's been underwater. I'm not joking. This thing is terrifying. Just look at this board. So I'm like, there's no way in hell this board works. So I stood back, plugged it in, it works just fine. What the hell? Gives proper voltages, literally perfect voltages. Like, what the fuck? How the hell does this work? It doesn't. That's bullshit. But I'm not going to put this rusty-ass thing in there, so I'm going to probably take this board, clean it super well, and that might not even do it. I might have to just start switching components back and forth until that one works, but... The issue is this screw's rounded out, so I'm going to have to drill that screw out. That's a pain. But, like, what the fuck? Why is this super clean board not work? This board that looks like it's been in the ocean works great. I don't know. Fucking hell. So I drilled out this screw, which was going great, until very last second when it slipped and drilled the wrong spot. I mean, it's out. Luckily, the trace doesn't really matter because it's a grounding trace. And it didn't actually cut it the whole way, but like, fuck. But it's out. Oh my fucking god. That's a nice spider web. Look at all that fucking corrosion. Holy shit, how does this power supply work? So, at this point, I got slightly affected by the fact that I bought some giant subs to play around with. And I managed to forget to record. After I cleaned the power supply, it actually looked basically brand new. I was amazed. But it works. I put the power supply in the game runs great. So at this point, it's time to work on the cabinet. Okay, it is cold as hell out here, but you knocked over the dirt rally, dirt dash, actually, because it has way more water damage than I thought. For one, this corner, not that bad, but like, not great. But I realized it cracked. So I knocked it over, I took a razor blade, took off all the stuff that was high, and dug down the crack a little bit. I get some wood hardener, harden all this up, then use some Bondo to smooth it all out. Same with down here. Might have to reinforce this a little bit better because it's awfully weak. Oh, I see why. It came disconnected right here. Yeah, see that wiggle? This is supposed to be connected to this. Came disconnected. That's why that's loose. So we'll have to fix that. Also took a razor blade, cleaned off the edge. Now, as you can see, the vinyl actually only goes out to about here. And then the rest of this is just black. So, a couple spots the vinyl was ripped up, and you can't leave vinyl ripped, because if you do, it'll just catch and rip further. So you gotta take off the loose vinyl, as sad as it is. So that's why there's a couple spots like this that's a little bit deeper than it should be. But we'll have to wood harden up this edge because all this edge is loose and weak. So we'll have to harden up this edge, smooth that all out. That's a real pain. Haven't cut this side up yet. This side's actually not near as bad. I might not do anything to this edge. But down here, way worse. You can see this whole corner's missing. That whole corner's missing. This whole bottom edge is destroyed. But the whole thing isn't swelled up like the other side was, so this side's actually much better. So, don't have to do near as much over here. Upwards, you still got a ton on this bottom edge. But I don't think I'll be touching this edge. This edge is great looking, so won't touch that. But this whole edge is gonna have to come off, and well, not come off, but like get razor bladed. Take off this loose stuff. Get all that bonded, some questionable screw holes from somebody's reinforcements. So we'll have to fix all this. Take a razor blade to this, clean this up. This is not as bad as I thought it was, so shouldn't be too bad. Get this razor bladed, and then I'll have to wait because I don't have any wood hardener on hand because I used it all on a recent project. So have to get some more wood hardener, then we'll get this stuff bonded up. Okay, so I applied wood hardener. I used typical stuff I use. Put that on, then I put a layer of Bondo on here. It's obviously not enough because this corner will start to come out some. And once this is sanded down, I'll find all the pits. Because as you can see, this crack is still down a little bit lower than it should be. It's still not completely set up, so it'll probably take overnight. But for now, what I'm going to do is cut off the obviously excess, like the bits there, stuff that's sticking out on the edges. And to do that, I'm just going to use a razor blade. Cut it off. That's usually what I do. I haven't done anything to the other side except for wood harden it. I haven't put any Bondo on that yet. So I'll give you a more in-depth video of how you do that here, but just take a razor blade and just take off the excess. I'm going to do that the whole way around. Well, by whole way around, I mean this little bit right here that I put Bondo on. So here's just a quick tip and a heads up. I've been gone for a while because I have way too many fucking projects right now. Like, goddamn, way too many fucking projects. Not to mention working on a car. So, basically, here's an example of okay Bondo work before sanding. As you can see, smooth, obviously still needs sanded. It's rough, but it still needs sanded. But it's smooth and consistent. There's no giant lumps leaping out places. This is what a first Bondo run should look like. Something like this. Something to make a baseline for other Bondo to stick to. Here. I had let a friend do this because he said, oh yeah, I can do Bondo work, I've done it before, I'm good at it. What the fuck is this? I'm gonna have to go over this so much. It's so thick, it's gonna take forever to fully cure. It's a super thick first coat. Duct tape's not a bad idea, but he just pushed it in so much that it bowed out, so the duct tape was a waste of time anyway. I have used duct tape. I might do a video on this later of how to actually properly do corners like this that are missing. This is not it, but you can use duct tape as a nice mask like this. This works well. Note, spots completely just skipped. random just bubbles everywhere. Absolute mess. When you have something like this, lift the cabinet off the fucking ground so you don't have to literally scrape the cabinet off the ground. Plus, this should have been sanded down more before Bondo was applied, because this surface here is uneven already, so this should have been sanded down some so it could be fully smoothed out with the Bondo. Okay, so I just got it on those. I sound out of breath because I am. I forgot how fucking heavy this cabinet is, and I'm by myself today. So, that was fun. So I'm probably not going to be turning this around. I think I'll just chuck a tarp on this shit and start sanding.
So, when I originally started these videos, I expected to have to make 2 separate videos, one for each of these 2 cabinets, but the other cabinet ended up taking around 2 minutes to fix, while the dash with all of its Bondo took about 2 weeks. So, at this point, I'm just going to show you the rest of the other cabinet, and we'll finish Dirt Dash in another video.
Okay, I just picked up this faster than speed. It's in a San Francisco Rush cabinet, but that's okay. It's working. I bought it as working, just having a steering wheel issue. I actually already diagnosed and fixed the steering wheel issue. Steering wheel issue, this metal plate that you guys can't see, but this fucker's heavy. But the metal plate that the motor's mounted on was cracked, so I just re-welded that. It was cracked, which was causing this belt to be loose, so it was slipping, making it sound and act really weirdly. So, put that on. Got that. Haven't actually plugged it in since I did that, but here's the back of it. Got the Atomiswave. See, they left a fuse block from the San Francisco Rush that isn't being used. That's a little sus. We got the power supply here. It's kind of dented. Although somebody probably just slammed the cabinet against a wall and it dented that in right there. But other than that, it's complete. Have the back door, it fell over. And the seat, right here. It's fancy. It actually still has the San Francisco Rush vinyl underneath this. As you can see right here. I'm not sure if I can get this on camera, but in real life, see if I can get an angle that'll show you. You can actually still read San Francisco Rush. Oh, there you can kind of see it. San Francisco. Oh, I actually think you guys can see the Rush. But it says Rush right in here. So, yeah, San Francisco Rush cabinet. It's pretty cool. It's got a pretty plasticky build, but I have the marquee sitting behind there. Took it out because that bulb's bad. But I'm going to slap this together and see if my weld job works. Never thought I'd be doing so much goddamn welding when I got into the arcade business. So, we'll see. Gotta plug in this button, because I had to unplug it to open this. Plug that in, close this, pull up that motor, mount the motor, put the steering wheel back on. We'll see if it works, and we'll probably slide the seat over and hook it up, and see if we got a fully working cabinet for 60 bucks. Not bad. Okay, we'll see if you can hear me over this super loud game, but I got it all back together. This was a pain to get on, my goodness. We got all 3 speakers in the seat working, which is why it's so loud. Both up here. Game's fully working, I just did a race. Steering wheel is a bit wonky still. It's still a bit loose, so we'll see what we can do about that later. We'll do a bit more racing. Back here, I guess I can lower the volume. That's raise the volume. I want to tune the monitor some because it's kind of whack. Not quite as good as it could look. So I'm hoping I don't need to do a cap kit. The caps don't look terrible though. You can't tell anything from that. But yeah, it's working.
So at this point, I stopped filming anything on this cabinet because it was done. The slight bit of wiggle that I was still feeling in the steering wheel was able to be adjusted out, and the photo you're looking at right now is the crack that was in it originally. This crack was making it so the motor was enough for the belt to jump. So, simple little fix, bit of welding, and the machine was good as new. It drives great, and this one's actually going to go in my personal collection because I really enjoyed racing it. It's really fun. So, at this point, you can enjoy some of the bloopers. I'm sorry for the random audio squiggles. I honestly have no idea what's causing that. So, hopefully I'll get that sorted out before the next video.
Down there. Jesus Christ.
So, when I originally started this video, I figured I'd make a what the fuck?
Yeah, Autumn's. How the fuck do you say that?